Hey everybody, I'm just getting a notice up on my screen that says they couldn't stream to Facebook again today. I went through yesterday and I changed the notifications. I took out any links to my online store or anything, but it's not happy with me. I don't know why. So if you're watching live, you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on Facebook, it means that I uploaded it to Facebook later so that you can make sure and see it. So I'm really sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. I took a lot of time with it, but technology is not always our friend. It's our friend when it works and not so great when it doesn't work. Anyway, hello. If you don't know me, my name is Joey, and I'm here today to share with you some really pretty cards that you can make with some new products coming in that are here now in the annual catalog. So I hope you'll say hello when you join me. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm pretty sure 100% it's going to be YouTube. So here's Julie. She says, day 2 of lovely cards. Julie, I'm so happy you're here. You stuck with me yesterday through all the fiasco of everything that was happening. So I'm glad you're here, and if you're watching on YouTube, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the video. And if you're watching on Facebook later, when I post it to Facebook, I hope you'll follow my page, and let's get to know each other and be friends. Alrighty, so yesterday, well, let me show you a couple things. I'm going to bring you down to my desktop. Here we go. So, in the annual catalog, and I don't have this is what we're working with today, and I'll come back to this, but I do want to show you something that's back here, and I forgot to mark this ahead of time. Here we go. So, on pages 66 and 67, this is the Memories in Bloom. Okay, so let's go backwards. The 2 stamp sets that we're using today are these 2, Sweet Blooms and Pretty Florals. And they're in the Florals and Blooms suite that I opened to begin with. This one, Florals and Blooms Suite Collection. But if you turn over to pages 66 and 67, you'll see that there is a scrapbooking kit that you can get as well. And what that just means is you get the same Florals and Bloom paper, but you also get a sticker sheet that comes with it. Can you see that in the corner? Now just know that that's a completely different number than what we're using today. So what we're using today is the Florals in Bloom, and then we're also using the celebratory Sips paper. My friend Allie and I gotta look it up though, I didn't have that one marked either, chose these 2 DSP. Let's look it up here in the back under, it should say celebratory sips. Yeah, here we go. Page 71. Whoops, backwards. 71 is here. This one. So this number, and I'm not even going to say it out loud because I don't want you to get it mixed up. Now, if you're a scrapbooker and you want to get the sticker sheet, then you want to be on page 71 and put this number in. Okay? We use this paper in our cards as well as the Floral Blooms paper. But the number for that's different, and I did put that up on the screen. So I have it up there now. The celebratory sips, just a 12 by 12 paper without the sticker sheet, is 165586. There might have been some confusion about that yesterday, so I wanted to make sure that you knew the difference. We are celebrating the new catalog, and we are have a lot more scrapbooking things. So those of you that are scrapbookers, you should be in heaven because we have so much more now that we have we've enlarged our scrapbooking company to add all of these products. Okay, that's a lot of talking. Hey Julie. Oh, thank you. I appreciate your comments. Julie says she commends me for learning tech. Oh my goodness. I am learning the hard way. You know, I always say that you need a teenager in your home. And our nieces and nephews are not even teenagers anymore. They're grown and have their children who are not yet old enough to help their aunt, their great aunt, with technology. These are the 2 cards we made yesterday. So if you didn't see that, I will go back and link the video both on Facebook and on YouTube, because I didn't link those this morning, but I will link these. I'm just so bummed that my Facebook page isn't recording, and I did research on it. I took out anything that I thought would be problematic in the video description. I think where it gets hung up is in the video description. I'm not sure. Okay, but let's move on. If you pre-ordered this kit, you got this in the mail from me about a week ago, and it has all your DSP. It has 1/4 of a pack of the DSP. It has of each of those, the floral blooms and the celebratory sips DSP. So you get 1/4 of a pack of one and 1/4 of a pack of the other. I just put them together in the packaging. You also got the kits for all of the cards. Each card is in a separate envelope so that they're all organized for you. I put in I made a little tag. I always make an extra little tag for my kits. And then you got a whole pack of the In Color Pearl, the new In Color DSP. You got a whole pack of this gorgeous gold ribbon. It's called Gold Mesh Ribbon, striped mesh ribbon. We're going to use that again today. And I also put in a little sweet treat for you for when you're making your cards. So if you're joining me live today and you bought that kit, thank you for purchasing the kit. I do have one more complete kit. I have this one. I made one extra one just to make sure I didn't leave anybody out and that I counted right. So I still do have an extra one. If you're interested in that, it is $46 if you're in Lincoln or you're close enough to pick it up. Or if you need shipping, then it's $9 more than that. So I still have one. If you want it, make sure you message me and I'll get it to you. Okay, now for this week, well, the whole week. So I'm sharing these cards again, and if you want to get just the card kits, which is, comes in an envelope with all the card parts to it, I will send you a whole kit for all 6 cards if you put in a $50 order with me this week through the Sunday night, the 25th. Okay, so let's get started with this card. So this is what we're going to make today. I am going in the order of the PDF, kind of. So yesterday we made the first 2. This is the detailed PDF. I did this class with my friend Alejandra Gomez, I just call her Allie. And she made 3 cards, I made 3 cards, and then we shared our PDF. But these are the ones we're making today. So this is actually the 3rd one in the PDF, but we're going to make the 4th one first, and then we'll come back and do this one. The reason is because this is a little bit more detailed, and I just want to make sure we get this done at the beginning so my brain is working like it should be. Oh dear. Sometimes things go smoothly, sometimes they don't. Today has been a good day. All right, friends, so you got in your kit a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of basic white thick, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And I honestly don't remember if I cut these for you or not. I meant to, so I'm not sure I did. But what I did, let's go ahead and do one just so you can see it done if I didn't do it for you. So all you're going to do is take your cardstock. I'll try and get in the picture here. Try and stay in the picture. So I'm going to go at 1 inch. Here's 1 inch down here on my paper trimmer. I'll try to get it closer in the picture. and I'm just going to lay this down. I did score your cards for you. I do score my cards for all my kits. So just so you know, I do that part for you. So I'm at 1 inch here, and I'm just going to cut to the score line, which I know it's hard to see, but it's like right about there. So I'm going to bring up my cutter on my paper trimmer. There's a little line here on your cutting blade, and I'm going to make sure it's pretty much squared up with that. And oh, okay, do not do what I do. This is supposed to be at 1 1/4, and I cut this at 1. So there we go. Well, you get the idea anyway. You know, I thought this day might go more smoothly, but right now it's going not smoothly. Let's see if this one is 1 1/4. Yeah, this one is 1 1/4. So pretend you didn't see that last part. And then you're going to go here, not 1, but 1 1/4, like so. Okay? And we're going to pretend this isn't cut, and then we're going to cut it up to here. Make sense? I don't want to make another cut because it's sure as heck I won't get it exactly on the line. Okay, so anyway, if you haven't watched me before, sometimes we construct and then we deconstruct, and I hope that makes you feel like I'm just a friend stamping with you, and we're just making cards and having fun and making some mistakes here and there, but no worries. Okay, let's go ahead and put some DSP down on here. This is the Florals and Bloom Designer Series paper, and this is 4 by 4. Is that right? Allie likes 8s. This is Allie's card. This might be 4 1/8. Let's check it out. Hang on a second. Let's make sure I don't tell you the wrong measurements. Now, if you put in your order this week, you'll get the DSP you'll get the PDF with all the right measurements. Yeah, there's 4 and that's 1/8. So this one is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. It is a square. So let's go ahead and put that down on the front of our card. Let's grab the seal. And if you're watching replay, I'm so happy you're watching. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and watching the video. I would love for you to also comment and let me know where you're from, what you're enjoying about the video. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Taking another piece of the Designer Series paper that coordinates. This is mostly Secret C here. Oops, I forgot to do something. So what we want to do first is we want to glue this down. And for this I am going to use liquid glue, because the only movable part is going to be the other part. It's going to be the large flap. So this is glued down. This is loose. Then we've got that all ready for this piece. Put a little bit more adhesive on that. And this is 1 by 4, which is why, nope, that's a lie. This is 1 by 4 1/8. Allie likes those 8s. And there we go with that one. Okay, so now it's like this. This one flaps up, this one is laid down. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do some stamping, and then we'll come back to this card in a moment. So I'm going to take my scrap piece of white, and we're going to stamp a flower. Then we're going to stamp some more flowers on one of the elements of the card itself. But this is the scrap paper, so let me grab something to stamp off on, and then we will get this flower stamped. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my garden green and stamp the stem first. I think Allie stamped these off. Let me, oops, oh, well, that's not going to work. You have to actually put the side in the, and we have, obviously we have embellished our glass block. Put that over here. We don't need a gem on our glass block. Okay, so let's try that again. I don't know if you could tell in the video, but I put the side without the stamp on the ink pad. So as I said, this is Create with Joey and also Destroy with Joey, and then learn how to redo it. Okay, garden green ink. We're going to stamp off once, and let's try this. Yeah, I think that's what she did. So let's go ahead. We'll use that one. And then we're going to go to, I better close that. I was going to leave it open, but the way it's going so far, maybe better not leave it open. Okay, so now we're going to grab the Petunia Pop ink pad, and we're going to stamp. These are going to be die cut. I found the easiest one with this two-step stamp is to go ahead and stamp the outline of the flowers first, so it looks like that. And then let's grab our fill-in. I always call this fill-in. I don't really know what it's supposed to be called, but it's the one that, well, it's the one that fills it in, for lack of a better description. Now, I don't have that perfect, but honestly, I don't feel like it shows with this particular stamp, two-step stamping, so I'm just going to go with it. Let's go ahead and do some die cutting. The other thing we need to die cut is this is not stamped, but it's die cut. So let's grab that die, and we'll get this all situated here. I'm going to grab my die cutting machine, and let's grab the dies for this. So these are the dies that come with, I don't think I showed that, but these are the dies that come with this stamp set. This is the bundle, and it's called Pretty Florals Bundle if you're looking for it. Let's go ahead and grab these dies to cut out both the stem and, whoops, not that one, and the flower. And, oops, we need to take this top one off. So your sandwich for your die cutting is number 1, and you need number 2. I'll get this so you can see all the edges of it. And then this is number 3. Wouldn't you know, I'd have all of these backwards. Then you put down your, if you haven't seen die cutting before, I just want to make sure you know how to do it. And then we put down our dies, and then I think today, since we're cutting out images, I don't really want these dies to move. Sometimes it doesn't matter too much if they move. What really helps is if your plates are flat. So we grab some tape. If your plates aren't flat, it could be maybe that you're forgetting to stagger your top plate. If you stagger your plates, every time you die cut, they're going to pretty much stay flat. It's when we just keep them squared up with the base plates over and over again that they warp in the middle, and then it's really hard to get them flattened out again. So let's go ahead and get this guy on here, and then we don't want to forget our lovely die, so let's put that there, and then let's grab this guy. This won't really matter too much if it moves. Let's take that one, and then for this one, we need the die that is out of this stamp set, and this is the coordinating bundle that goes with this. We want lovely. Had to think for a minute. That goes with this whole suite. So there is a mega suite because it has 2 stamp sets. One has all images. The other has a couple of images plus greetings. I'm trying to get lost on my words. Okay, let's get this all cut out here. Here we go. So you can see die cutting. Let me move this a little bit and get back in the picture. And there we go. Now, if you don't have a die cutting machine, it's a perfect time to get one because we have a joining special. You do not ever have to demonstrate. If you want to be just a happy shopper with Stampin' Up, you can join right now for, you get a whole $165 worth of product for just, of your choice. You get to pick whatever you want for just $99. So it is an awesome special. And I would love for you to be on my team. We're a very low-key, friendly group. We have an active Facebook page. And we're just friends that like to stamp. Most of the girls just love to get the discount, and they join for that. However, if you want to do it for a business and earn some income, I'm happy to help you with that too. I have earned 6 trips with Stampin' Up, and I have gone from being totally a hobby demonstrator to a full-time business and earning income with my stamping. Let me get this back on here so we don't lose any of those. Okay, I think we're lovely. Oh, we're not lovely. Well, we are lovely, aren't we? I have to remember to engage my brain before my mouth keeps going. Oh dear. Okay, let's go like this. Now, we're going to do some stamping on this element. This is called the Countryside Corners dies. It's a whole complete set of dies that have this shape in different sizes. It actually is on the last chance list, and I think it's actually sold out. But Allie used it for her card, and I didn't want to alter her card, so we're going to go ahead and use it today. Hopefully you have it. It's been here for a couple of years, so if you're an avid stamper, you probably have it. If you don't have it, there are other shapes that are similar. I'm going to stamp this off once, and then I'm going to put this one about there. Whoops. Now, good thing with clear stamps is you can see through and kind of go over anything you might have missed. But we have a lot of new shapes that are... I want to kind of keep this next to this guy, but just down a little bit further. Okay, so there's that. Let's go ahead and do the inside. We did the inside of our cards on these just to make them a little bit extra special yet. So let's go ahead and garden green stamped off once. This one's a little bit tall. Let's go here. Let's go a little bit lower, and then this one will do the full length. Just to add a little bit of interest here. There we go. Whoops, that one didn't stamp either. I'm too busy blithering. There we go. That'll work. Okay, let's close green, or else we'll have a disaster. I learned early on to close the ink pad I wasn't using. Anybody else ever put you think you're stamping in one color and you ink your stamp in a different color, and the problem is you haven't cleaned your stamp before you do that? Not good. Okay, so now we're going to stamp both of the outlines of the flowers. I'm going to get my head right over this like so, and then like so. And then let's go ahead and do the inside of these guys. I don't know, did I ever finish what I said about we decided we would make sure we decorated the inside of these cards? Just for that extra special way of making your cards unique to you that probably no one else. I've got all my bits here. Sorry, it's probably a visual hot mess. All right, let's go ahead and stamp. Let's see, we've got the inside done. Okay, we don't need that. We're working on this. All right, let's go here. Oops, that's the inside. As I said, I think it's easier with this particular two-step stamp to do the outline. I want to make sure I have ink all over that. The outline first, and then fit in the inside of the flowers. There we go. Petunia Pop was a new ink color last year, which means we'll have it a whole nother year. I wish we would keep it forever. It's one of my favorite colors. Okay, there we go. All right, now we need this ink pad out for one more thing. We're going to cut, hang on, I've got a little piece of this cardstock cut, but I'm not seeing where it is. So let's just, maybe that's why I had this out, I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and cut a greeting. The greeting will be 1/2 inch. Let's close that for a minute, get it out of the way. The greeting will be 1/2 inch by, it doesn't matter, we don't care really how. I'm going to go 1/2 inch here on this side of my trimmer. Am I in the picture? Not very well in the picture. Let's move here. So let's look at that again. So there's a 1/2 inch here. This side of your trimmer goes all the way to 1 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to go to 1/2 there. And then we'll go ahead and stamp on that. and then we'll just trim it with our scissors. So I'm going to get out hello. We'll bring our ink pad back. There we go. Hello. This is just tone on tone stamping. You want your greeting to show, but sometimes you don't want it to just completely take over. Let's go ahead and trim this. We're not quite ready to put it on our card, but we'll go ahead and trim it here. I'm just taking my scissors. Am I in the picture? Yep. And then I'm going to just trim the edges. I have my nails done in a color that I thought was going to be, yeah, that looks nice. Very strawberry slushy, and it kind of is. It might be just a little more coral. Kind of clashing with Petunia Pop today, but it went really well with what I did yesterday. Okay, now what are we doing here? Let's get this guy, our lovely, on here, and let's get this all ready to go. So I've got all our bits here. Let's take out our card and let's get this figured out. So what you want to do, if you're crafting along with me, if you already have this kit, or if you get the kit from me this week so that you can make these cards and you're watching the video on replay, we want to just only, I'm centering this label, panel, whatever you want to call it. I'm centering it, and then I'm going to make sure my adhesives is only on this part. So let me grab my dimensionals. I think Stampin' Up! Must love this suite of products because they're on the front cover. They're scattered throughout the entire catalog. So Ellie and I thought, well, this would probably be a good one because Stampin' Up! Obviously thinks it's going to be very popular. So far, I think everything is still available with this suite. I did put on YouTube a link to just click on my cart, and then you can go right to the cart where I have all these things listed. You can take out what you want. There we go. So look how cute that is. It kind of goes like that, and it kind of hangs over. I thought this was a cute layout that Allie did. But you can just click that add to cart on YouTube. It's in the video description, and you can go right to the cart that has all these things listed. And as I said, you can take things out of the cart, you can add things back in it. It's just, I wanted to make it easy for you to order. All right, now let's grab our liquid glue. I could have put this on an adhesive sheet, and what that does, it makes it a sticker. So you add the blue cardstock to the adhesive sheet, excuse me, or however you want to say that, the adhesive sheet to the blue cardstock, and then you die cut it, and then this becomes a sticker. But I didn't do that. I should have done it for this one because the whole greeting fits on the label, but I didn't do it. So here we go with trying to be really careful with liquid glue so it doesn't go everywhere. Now, you don't have to really cover all of this with the glue if you're doing it like I'm doing it and you forgot to use your adhesive sheet like I did. But I'm trying to get like a lot of the edges here. And I do have a tweezers. I got this tweezers, if I can find it. No, that's not the one. I grabbed one that I have a couple different types of tweezers, so I'm trying to grab my pink one. Oh gosh, that's not it either. Where is it? There it is. I have two of these just so I can always find one. And then I'm going to hold it with this hand too, because I want it to just fit. It does just fit on the label. So I'm going to grab this end, and now the only part that doesn't really fit is this Y, the bottom of the Y. So I'm going to kind of make it fit. I'm just kind of scrunching this Y up here, and then let's go ahead and press it down. And then I'm going to I think that's so pretty. Okay, so we got that. I mean, I just think the font is really pretty there. Then we're going to add a flower on the end of this. So we're going to grab our stem here, and I'm going to put a mini glue dot on it. I feel bad for my friends on Facebook because I started live video on Facebook, and it was live every week for 4 years. I started in the pandemic like a lot of us did. I'm putting the flowers on top of the stems with the mini glue dot. Then we're going to put this over here. So most of the people that watch me look for me on Facebook. So they're looking like, where are you? Where is she? But we're going to stick with keeping it live on YouTube because Facebook always, I mean, as well, they change their policies, so then they take off your videos. I'm going to have this just kind of hang off. I don't want it to really cover up too much of that. How they do with that. Yeah, that's pretty good. So there's our flower. Let's get hello on there, and then we'll tie a bow and put on some gems, and we are done with this one. I've got one more for you today. Let's take some dimensionals. So anyway, the whole saga of the Facebook thing, I have a new streaming software. It's called Ecamm Live, and through it I can go live both on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Set this up here a little bit. Hello. Hello. I don't want to cover up my letters. Well, I don't really like that there. I didn't get my flowers close enough together on this one. Let's try that. It's not the best. This one is better, but we're going to go with it. Live video. Keep moving, people. Okay, let's go ahead and tie a bow, and we'll put it on the front. This ribbon looks pretty on everything. As I said, it's called gold striped 3/8 inch mesh ribbon. There's a lot of words there. But as I said, if you click that add to cart button that I put in the video description, it's all there. You can add it to your cart if you want it. Well, it's in the cart now, so if you don't want it, you just take it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and trim this. It makes such a pretty bow. It's pretty on everything. Okay, let's go ahead and get that on our card. I'm going to use mini glue dots here. When there's a wider ribbon like this is, I usually put on a couple. I bend my sheet back a mini glue dot so that I can press against it rather than it just like flopping like this and I'm trying to control where the glue dot goes. I'm just pressing against my roll. That's why I roll it back like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this on my... Isn't that pretty? Let's put some gems on that. This is Allie's beautiful card. It was so fun partnering with her. We partnered on another competition with our mutual friend Julie Salva. Well, this is not a competition. This is a collaboration. But let's do the cloud cover gems on this one. Let's go. Well, I don't have the same spacing on this one. So we'll do a little bit different than my first one. And let's do one more. These are the really pretty. Are these pretty? These are the new in color gems. They are called flat pearls. Anyway, I think they're really pretty. And there's Allie's sweet card. Okay, there's card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2 for today. And then don't forget, set a reminder, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll try again to have that silly Facebook connection worked out so it lets me go live in both places. I apologize to my Facebook friends who are now probably watching on YouTube because it didn't go through. Okay, this card is called a Joy Fold card. It's a very easy fun fold. Then if you've watched me very much, you've seen me do it. This is my swap card that I got, and I modeled my card for today after this same pattern for the most part. I made a few changes, but basically that's what we're making today. So let's go ahead and get out our cardstock. This is, I better measure this. I think this is 8 inches. No, it is 8 1/4 inches, and then it's scored at 5 1/2. So that's what gives you this fold. That's the base of our card. And then this actually goes, I have to get my own card out here. This goes like this on this side. So let's go ahead and put in our pattern paper. This pattern is from the Celebratory Sips DSP. I think it's so, cloud cover is one of my favorites. Hi, Heidi. Oh, good. I'm glad you can peek in on my live. It's so nice to see you again today. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, Heidi, but I did a lot of changing of my video description and taking care of what I thought was causing the problem for my video not going live on YouTube, or I mean on Facebook as well as YouTube, but it didn't happen. It gave me an error message again today. All right, friends, this is, I don't remember, 2 1/4? No, 2 1/2 by 4. 2 1/2 by 4 for this one. Just going to scrunch this in here like so. And then there's the base of our card. Now, the front of our card, we're going to set that aside, is a piece of strawberry slush. And this is, I think this is the one that's 8 inches. Let me check this. Again, if you get this class, if you've already gotten this class kit, you have, these are all pre-cut for you, and you have the PDF. This is 8 by, I think, 3. Let me check. 8 by, nope, lie. 8 by 2 3/4. That's 2 3/4. If you can see it there. Tomorrow, I'll try to remember to, let's see, we want this one to go this way. Okay, so that's going to go there. Tomorrow, I'll try to remember to write the measurements out on a sticky note so I can just stick it on my work surface so you can see it. This DSP is going to be 2 1/2 by, right, 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay, so now this goes like this. Our card's going to open like this. This is from the Celebratory Sips as well. So everything I'm using on this card is from the Celebratory Sips. Okay, now this one, we want this to fold like this. So it comes like this. So let's go ahead and let's be brave and use glue on this so it doesn't come undone. If you want something, if you want to make sure something's going to stick, you use your liquid glue. Now, our other adhesives, they stick really, really well too. But this, since this card opens and closes a little bit more, I'm going to, I use my liquid glue just to make sure. Now, I'm just centering this. I've opened my card. I don't know if you can tell that. I opened my card and then I'm centering it here on the inside, like so. And then this is the way this is going to go, like this. Okay? All right, let's do the inside. We've got a little bit of stamping to do on this piece. This is, I don't have anything, I don't have a greeting on the inside of this. Let me grab my scratch paper back here and we'll stamp. I'm calling this a texture stamp, if I can find it. Here it is. I don't know what Stampin' Up! Calls it. That's what Joey calls it. And I'm going to grab my Strawberry Slush ink for this one. And then, I think that's what I used. Let me check, yeah. And then what I did with this is I think I started in the middle. So it would kind of be the same on both ends. I'm kind of trying to line it up. It's not a perfect lineup, which makes it much easier to try to line up and go all the way across here, like so. There we go. Just adds a little bit of interest to the inside. As I said, we decided we would decorate the inside of our cards to make these extra special this time. And again, Hallmark doesn't decorate the insides, only we do that. So it makes it extra special for whoever you're sending it to. Alrighty, let's go ahead and put this on the inside. For this way, you can just use tape. This doesn't have to move, it just has to be flat. So it'll probably be very happy with this tape and stay really well. So there we've got that. Let's stamp our greeting. We've got a few things more to stamp here. In your kit, you'll have this size of a circle. And then I also did this for you. This is a die cut out of the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the largest one that's this shape. This is just going to actually be the background on this. I don't know if I have to cut this or not. I don't remember. Nope, it works like that. Okay, let's stamp some flowers here. And then I had a little greeting, and I think it disappeared. Hang on, I know where one is. Hang on just a second. I had a stray one I saw on the counter, and it must have been out of my kit, but you should have it in yours if you pre-ordered, or as I said, if you put in an order this week to get this kit, you'll have that pre-cut for you. What won't be pre-cut are any of the dies that are in these two bundles, so that won't be pre-cut, but you'll have all the cardstock to do it with, because I'll make sure that you have all that. Actually, those kits are even ready to go. We did all the cutting at one time. Oops. So hopefully I guesstimated enough to cover everyone that wants to order this week. Let's go ahead and stamp the garden green. This is actually out of the word. So this is an image, but it's out of this, the Sweet Blooms bundle. So it's this flower. The image stamp was there too, as well as that little leaf. So there are images in this one, not just words, but in the floral set, whatever the name of that one is, Sweet Blooms. I'll look it up in a second. Okay, this is garden green. There are no words. So the one with the big dies has some other images, not just words, but oops, we need to stamp our greeting here. Let's do that in Strawberry Slush. But the one with the flowers only has the flowers. There's no greeting in that set. So they work perfectly well together. But if you don't have these bundles, you can still get the kit, and then you can improvise and make whatever you want out of it. There we go. Hello. This die, I don't know if I said, it's from that the Nested Essentials dies. So let's go ahead and, oops, we need flowers. I'm going to grab this. I'm not keeping up with your comments, so if you're commenting, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to keep going here with the video. My husband had to drive his truck to a little town near us where they are repairing. One of the handles on the truck broke, and he's getting that repaired. And he took it down early this morning, and I'm lining up these little lines here with these flowers. So I'm going from the top. This is the way I like to do it. I can see the best this way. And then I come down like this to see where all those little things fit in there. I think that's pretty close. That's pretty close. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. I find that helps me quite a bit to just come from the top and slide it in to where it looks like it fits the best. Anyway, Steve went down, took his truck down to get this handle fixed. They had to order it, so we had to wait for it. Let's go ahead and adhere this to the back of our circle. When he got there, they had ordered the wrong part, so they had to send somebody back to Lincoln. I live in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know if I mentioned that. Somebody back to Lincoln to get the right part. So he had his computer with him, his laptop from work. So he is sitting in a local coffee shop in a little town just outside of Lincoln working. I'm not sure how that's going for him, but he texted me and said it's going fine. So, you know, that's just life. Life just goes that way. And if you don't roll with it, which I don't often roll very well, you're upset all the time. And there's no point in that because you can't change it. I'm saying that kind of to myself. Let's put this hello. Well, we could put it right there. So if we put it there, let's put a couple mini dimensionals on this. Well, let's see. Will this work? If we go right. Yeah, that'll kind of work. But we're going to need more adhesive than that. So let's pull out our, you don't need this anymore. This is a mat I use. It's a piercing mat, but I use it for my photopolymer stamps because it just gives them a little bit more cushion. And they stamp a little bit better. All right, we wanted adhesive, so let's grab our tape runner. And then we'll put this right here. And then it kind of coincides with this part of that green, garden green element that we already put on. And let's grab our ribbon. And do this gold striped ribbon. This dresses up any project. It's just, and I don't think it has to be necessarily for, you know, wedding or something fancy. I mean, we aren't making wedding cards, but we thought it looked really pretty with this paper and these stamps. Okay, let's call that good. It ties a really pretty bow. You know, some ribbons, you can definitely make them look nice if you putz with them a lot. But this one ties a pretty bow right away. You don't really have to putz with it. All right, let's grab our mini glue dots again and get this on our card. This is just a hello. I've been sending a lot of thinking of you cards lately. I just have some people going through some rough things, some medical challenges, some surgeries. Just a lot. So I've been just sending just some hello, how are you, thinking of you cards. Let's put some gems on this one, and these two are done. So again, if you haven't set your calendar, remember to do that. Set a reminder so you don't miss us. Me. Allie's doing the same cards, but we're each doing all 6 cards for our own people. Let me get this here. And then let's do a little one. I really like strawberry slush. Let's go this one. All right, here. If you don't press down too hard, you can move these a little bit. I kind of want these to move up here a little bit. That way I kind of put them in a triangle so that they kind of balance each other out. So there's this card. A joyful card that hopefully does bring a lot of joy to whoever receives it. And hello, lovely card as well. Both of these would be probably really make someone very happy to find a card in the mail, especially a handmade one. Okay, let me check your comments real quick. I'm going to look at them, see if I missed any. It doesn't look like my computer is keeping up with the comments. So let me put a couple of things up here on the screen. This is my, let's see, let's show this one. Free class kit with orders. So you'll get all, these are the 2 we made yesterday, and then plus the 2 we'll make tomorrow. You'll get the kit for all of these if you put in a $50 order in my online store. And on YouTube, my online store is linked. And I will also link it on Facebook in the comments when I add it to Facebook. So there is the free class with the order. What else have I got here to show you? I think that's the main thing I wanted to show. Make sure I had the celebratory sips right. I'm looking at all my options here. Thank you, Julie. I'm happy you like the cards. And let me bring my face back, since today I actually also put on my makeup, which yesterday I didn't. It was kind of a free-for-all morning, but we got our cards done. So I also am on Instagram. I've been doing shorts. I've been doing reels on these cards on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, check out my reels there, and I'd love for you to follow me there too. All right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll see if we can't get YouTube to be live as well. I mean, Facebook. But if you're watching on YouTube, we're golden. All right, take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.